Hello and welcome to your favorite show, the Be Happier podcast with your coach Keya on a crossroad conversation. Another beautiful, intimate, amazing crossroad conversation with a dear friend whom I just met a few months ago, but it feels like I have known her for a few lifetimes because both of us are on similar paths. It's not same, similar. And I will not even try to introduce her, Ulrike Selleck. In her own words, she is going to tell you who she is right here, right now, and how she brings more light into the world and how she shows up and shines. Go ahead, Ulrike. The stage is yours.
Oh, that was really sweet. Thank you, Keya. Stage, interesting, huh? Since that was part of my life. Well, to start with, I would like to say that I wish from the bottom of my heart that I had known at 18 what I know now. Don't we all wish that? Isn't that something you wish too?
Yes.
It's amazing the life I could have experienced differently. I'm not saying that the events would have changed a lot because karma is karma, but how I would have swooped through them would have been so different had I known that my voice was from me, that our voice, our human voice, is actually a healing instrument. I didn't know. I listened to the person slamming the keys with their fists, telling me that I will never amount to anything. I will never be an opera singer, and it's too late. I was 18. If at that point I had known what I know now, I would have persevered and I would have been happier. But I didn't. And it was just as well, because as soon as I gave up that goal, or that it wasn't so much a goal, it was something I was trying. You know, at 18, we don't know anything. I mean, I didn't know anything. I was just
Me
sort
neither.
of flailing around like, what the hell is this life? But I let it go completely. It hurt my feelings so much. And I wonder, how many of us were told to shut up, whether we can't sing, or that we sing off key, or we were kicked out of the choir. It happened to so many people. But at the time, I just completely let go of it. And a year later, I started transcendental meditation. And I wasn't even looking for meditation. I just knew that certain things were not for me. I was a total introvert. As much as I talk now, I never said a word. I was very quiet. Thank you. I was just really shy, really scared, really inward, just not like I am now, the flamboyant colors and loud and big. And I mean, I was always big. I was almost 6 feet tall even then, but I wasn't behaving like one. I was literally, So I'm sure many people go through this. And I think what heals the most at that point is, other than the knowledge that would have been nice to have, is to go inward, to really find who you are. Because when we're insecure, we have basically chosen subconsciously or consciously a role that isn't us. Even if we're arrogant, full of ourselves, again, not a role, it's just a role, but it's not us. So to have meditation as a first guidepost, as a first reference, I think is so important for everybody. So if anybody, clicks off after this, at least they will have gotten this, that meditate, find who you are. For me, it was transcendental meditation that I started as 19, 20-year-old. That literally saved my life. I mean, literally saved my life. The second thing that saved my life was later on singing, but we can get into that when you ask the next question. But I hope this started us off on a good, lively foot, and so people hopefully stay put.
Yes, yes. I find so many similarities again between our lives. It's almost like
Really?
we are living the same life in two bodies, like twin flames, something like that. Oh my God, I don't have facial hair, but I have goosebumps on my cheeks at this moment and at the back of my neck.
Oh,
Yes, yes, you are telling my story. You're telling my
really?
story. And for the first time, somebody told me, no, I'm not a coach. No, I'm not a teacher. I'm a guide. And I have always said, that's what I am. I'm a guide. I want to teach you something. Who am I to teach you anything? That's so much pressure and so much ego. I can
Yeah.
hold space so you learn whatever it is that you need to experience and go through right now. And maybe I can hold space so you feel safe to unleash whatever it is, you incarnated for, your purpose for this lifetime. So, hell, and I have heard you sing. I'm not kidding this. And when I heard you sing, I was dumbstruck. I was in awe. I did not move. I just stared at the screen. And after you were done, and it was a duet, and after you were done, I still didn't move. I
Mm.
sat, and your voice was in my head. And I was, and your face was in front of me, floating. It was very transformative. So I
Mm.
know singing is very powerful, and today is Shivratri. Couldn't be a better day than today for us to do this recording.
Very cosmic indeed. Very
Indeed.
cosmic.
And Shiva rules our throat chakra.
Well, and it's the
And
color blue. And do you know what my room is? My studio is like, my voice studio? Blue. I painted it
wow,
blue
it painted blue. See, and blue,
because it's
yes,
like,
your throat.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because we swallowed the
Neelkant,
poison and it made it blue. And since then, it's the blue chakra. Yeah.
yeah, Neelkant, or the blue throat. And this is something I know about our throat chakra is y- we don't speak our truth.
Yeah.
We stumble, we struggle with speaking with purpose, with passion, who we are, our truth. Like we hide behind labels, we hide behind names, we hide behind our form. Oh, I'm a millionaire, I'm a homeowner, I'm married, I'm single. Blah, 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 blah. But truly, 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 who are you? And when I asked you, how would you like to be introduced? And I know you playfully said this, but it hit me. And I knew that to be 100% true. You are a finite expression of the infinite.
Yeah. We all are.
You, and you're claiming it. And that is the gift. And
Thank
even biologically, it's our vagus nerve going through our throat, right? Which connects all our organs. Like you could be stabbed in your body 27 times and you can still walk out, but you get stabbed once over here, that's it. Kaput, that's the end. Why? Because your connection of all your organs to your brain is gone. Okay. There's no way anyone can live at that moment. So do share with us how singing saved your life. It saved mine too. It's a different
you.
story, but how it allowed you to not only claim your place on this planet, but how you are helping others
Mm.
speak their truth and claim their place on this planet. Because it
Mm.
is a lot of responsibility and you do it with such grace and ease. So do
Oh,
share.
thank you. I wasn't starting out wanting to teach anything. I didn't think I had anything to offer. But like all of us guides and teachers, we have to go through our own karmic path first. And that's like a journey. And then at some point we figure out, like we learn to structure our TEDx talk. Oh, we went through this because of that. And it's not that we went through it because of anything. We just went through it. We were just in the process, in the moment, learning another lesson, going through another hardship, going through another joy, and suddenly became more clear. So for me, after I started to meditate, it was so wonderful. I found who I am, and my introvert self finally knew that it was okay to be quiet. It was okay to connect with who I really am. And I was filled with that bliss. I had wonderful spiritual experiences. I know that there is only the one of us. There is no other. Literally, we are all the one. It's like, I always give the example of an octopus. Okay, the camera comes and it goes to one leg and zooms a little bit out and then sees two legs. Oh my God, and there's three, there's four, five. And then the camera goes up and go, oh, it's all just the one. Literally, this is how we all are. And most of us don't know it. So I found that and I was so grateful. And then I became a meditation teacher and I started teaching TM. And suddenly all is going inward, inward, inward. Nature goes, hello, hello, 200% of life. Where's the other 100? Whereas the outward stroke, I was married, I was quiet, I was meditating, I was teaching to be quiet. And nature thought, interesting. Let's see how we can wake her up. So what happened was I grew thyroid cancer. And so suddenly this bump was growing on my throat. It's fine now. It's all done. And, it was scary. But it wasn't super scary until I saw a doctor. And it was this enormous, large, obese person coming in the door with a white coat on, huffing and puffing as if he's about to have a heart attack, literally with a ruler in his hand, not looking at me, not introducing himself, not shaking my hand, walking up to my throat, telling his assistant who waddled in behind him with a little notebook, 2.7 centimeters, and write that down. From that moment on, I was not just scared. I thought, no, this is not who I am. This is not how I will be treated. I walked out of this office. I never went back. At the time, Deepak Chopra was somebody who was here on campus a lot because he was still connected to Maharishi Yogi, and he was here a lot. And he's known me for years. He's given me many techniques, mantras, and he saw me at least once or twice a year for years. So we flew to Boston, where he was at the time, in Lancaster. It was a blizzard. It was December 9 or 11, something like that. It was really, really cold, really snowy, howling wind. And we got there, and he was very kind and saw me at 10 or 10:30 in the evening in his office. And I was standing in his office, and there was wood paneling. The storm was raging outside. I saw the snowflakes blowing sideways, and it was warm and cozy. And Deepak was there, and the lamp and his desk, and not a white coat, just I don't know what he was wearing, but cozy, not a doctor type. Oh, how are you? Let me give you a hug. And how are you doing? And he examined me. And since he's an endocrinologist, that was his field. So that's why we went to see him. And he said, you know why you got this, right? I said, no, I don't know. I'm a good person. I'm meditating. Because your throat chakra is blocked. You have created a blockage in the area between heart and mind. You never say anything. I've never heard you say no. If you want to heal, you have to learn to sing and express yourself. And he also arranged for a surgery that I needed at the time, but then I was basically home free, and I just had to follow through. So I wrote my mom in Germany, and she faxed me instructions because she was a classical singer. I come from a fifth generation classical singers and musicians, but I rejected it all because I got told it was too late at 18. Plus, I wanted to be an introvert and meditate. So I just shunned it all. And so now it kept coming at me, and I had to catch up, basically. So I learned to sing. I became an opera singer. It took me 8 years, not 2 or 3 like it would take somebody at that age, but because I had been so inward and not even spoken up. I had no range. I had not even an octave range. I was straining. I had horrible technique. I was really the classic example of all the things you could possibly do wrong. And at age 48, I stood on the stage for the first time singing arias solo with orchestra. And at that point, my life completely changed. People came out of the woodworks because they knew me. They've known me for decades. What did you do? What transformation did you do? How can I sing like this? You seem so free. How can I do that? So from then on, it became very quickly that I saw people. I'd also studied energetic healing. That was in also similar time. I was quite young then, but you too. Learned many different techniques. The best one that I learned was from Balraj Maharshi. I learned Jyoti Atman. At the time, it was called something else. I forget right now, cellular repatterning or something. I forget the exact name, but he renamed it Jyoti Atman before he passed. And he gave us the charge to just practice 100 times without charging any money. And within a very short time, I got so good, people would call me up and say, oh, I have this, and I don't know what's going on. I don't know if you can tune in, but I have this symptom. And I had no trust in my abilities, zero. I just thought I was going by the book. I was learning everything, and I had no idea what I was doing. I was so innocently intuitive that I completely discounted anything that I got. So I tuned in because it was a good friend and I wanted to help. And I thought, okay, what the heck? I'll just tune in. And I don't know from where it came, but the thought kept coming, radish juice. I'm going, oh my God, they're calling me up. They want some insight. And here I am just talking my internal thing, calling about radish juice. Like, what the hell? And so I called them back after half an hour. I said, this is really ridiculous. And please, I'm sorry. I really tried. I can't come up with anything. I'm sorry I can't help you and disappoint you. But the only thing that came up was radish juice. Well, I forgot all about it because I thought, okay, they're never calling me again. 2 weeks later, I was at a dance event. I was participating in a weekly English country dance group. And I saw the person standing surrounded by others telling a story. And as soon as he saw me, he waved me over. Oh, there she is. I'm going, oh, now what? Now what have I done? And he said, I went to the Ayurvedic clinic and guess what they told me that I need to have to cure this very dangerous thing that I had. I said, I don't know. I forgot all about it. Radish juice, 2 cups of radish juice. I had it and I was fine. And I went, you've got to be kidding me. So from then on, my confidence went up a tiny notch. And the more I did healings, the more I did tuned in, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, the more I just got something opened and it was just clear. This. It was as if you tune into a radio channel. It was so innocent. There was not a big rigmarole and big invocation. Yes, of course, you always invoke the highest and you always do it for the other person. You take yourself out of the equation, but it was almost instant. And it was just the most natural thing I've ever done in my life. So all these years, Keya, that you and I have been introverts, that we've been quiet, that have been honing our sensitivities, that we've been bullied and beaten up and made fun of because we were too sensitive and all that, it's all coming to fruition. All the people listening to this now, I'm sure so many of your listeners have stories like this when we are not aware that something is serving us or has served us or will serve us. We're just going through it and all this karma and we don't know and we're feeling down and things happening and we're being bullied and suddenly something comes out. It's like a diamond that gets chopped and chopped and chopped and polished and sanded and suddenly there we go. And I feel this is the time, you doing this podcast, you inviting me on here and others listening, tuning in, clicking and sharing. This is the time that this lively flavor of being is finally not just allowed to come out, hello, but it's also being honored, it's being seeked out. And I think it's absolutely precious. And I feel so grateful for every single person. Why the single person? Because every single person relating and tuning in and feeling this is a light being switched on, a light being switched on, a light being switched on, the sharing, the liking, it's not a superficial thing. It's nature saying, yes, high five, here we go. You go. I'm finally being heard in my purity because we're all the one. We're all pure being. We eternal bliss consciousness. That's our flippin' nature. Okay. And every time somebody realizes that and shares it, is truth being shared, truth being shared. We're not telling stories and, oh my God, everything's so great, and blah, blah, blah. We're going, okay, this is truth. This is Mahakali, Mahashakti, Parvati, Lakshmi, Shiva, Ganesha. This is eternal Buddha. This is being shared right now. And so I'm getting carried away, but I feel this is such a precious, precious time that we finally get to be who we are, who we always were. And we're finding the momentum is growing. And it's like a snowball, a snowball going down, turning into an avalanche of light. I really, really feel that. I feel so, so fortunate. So now I'm sharing this and I wrote a book about it and I share the technique to not have to be an opera singer because not everybody wants to be an opera singer. Hello. I didn't, but I had to save my life. But whoever wants to learn that the voice that we have inside is not to be judged by other people, but it's actually for ourselves. I wrote a book and I'm rewriting it right now. And yeah, I can share more information about that later. And even in the show notes, I don't want to take up too much, but yeah, there is help, there is light, and there is a way to heal ourselves with our voice. There is a way, and it doesn't take long. It literally, once you learned it, it takes 7 seconds. And this is the greatest revelation for my own life. And I wish I had known that at 18, but I didn't. And it's okay. It's serving us now.
And you said 11 seconds, and that was so
7 seconds.
powerful.
7 seconds. Yeah.
Seven
Yeah.
seconds. You said
And
7
I didn't come
seconds.
up with that. I did not come. It's not like, well, what can I do from a marketing standpoint? That sounds really good. 7 was always my favorite number. And when I taught hundreds, literally hundreds of people, they sat on my couch, and every single person, I'm going, you're coming to me because of midlife crisis. Your pet died. I'm making that up. Nobody's pet died. You got divorced. Absolutely. Your child is cutting. Okay, I'm going to help you. Your daughter is never calling you. Okay, I'm going to help you. Every single person, their throat chakra was because of life experience and being put down and being afraid. It was like this, like an hourglass. And we don't want to have an hourglass. We want to have a cylinder. We want flow everywhere. And everybody needed the same instructions, even the people who never wanted to have anything to do with singing ever. They needed that. And so finally I said, okay, I can't keep doing this. I can't keep seeing hundreds and hundreds of people always talking about the same thing. So finally I wrote it all down, and then I gave the technique at the end of the book, in the beginning, of why we don't sing, why we have to sing, and then the technique. And I'm now writing a separate book, just the technique, so people see it in context. It's not just for clearing yourself out and learning to sing for those who want to, or for speakers, or people who read their own audio book, or for TEDx speakers to learn how to be free enough to really do stream of consciousness, even with a learned dialogue or a learned text. But it's also something that will get us in the current moment, in this very moment, out of the Maya of the forward, the backward, the future, the past, gets us into the moment as soon as we do this. And it literally just takes 7 seconds. So there you go. That was, again, a lot of talking.
And people can always rewind and re-listen and rewind
And
and
slow down
re-listen and
slow
re-listen.
down the speed.
Yeah.
I want to have no. Whenever I listen to something, I always go 1.25 or 1.5 to have it go quicker, because I'm quick. You might do that too, but regular speed is probably okay, or maybe slightly slower for me. You're fine. You have a good pace.
But I appreciate your enthusiasm and your excitement. And one of our common coach, Taylor Conroy, he says, if you want your clients to hear you at 100, you better be 120.
No problem.
You better be performing at 120%. And that's what the actors do. Like one of my son, he's an actor, and he said, like he had to power on the stage, on the steps, and speak. So he's but he has to project his voice so the one at the end can hear it. So he's actually projecting his voice, but the rest of us are hearing him. That's the voice training. But that's what it is. You have to go 120 or 150% for the people to get it at 100%. So what you did was phenomenal, and I was enthralled by it. So
Thank you.
great
It's
job.
just
And people
automatic. I don't think about it. It just comes out. And sometimes I'm going, my God, slow down, woman.
it's exciting. It's infectious. And people also believe that, okay, I can do this too.
Yeah.
So do you see clients one-on-one, or is it just your book?
Yeah, I do, but it's an exception. I don't do it so much anymore. I still have my voice students, every week for Wednesday, Thursday are my teaching days. I'm okay with that. And if somebody, and every single voice student who comes to me who wants to learn to sing has to sit down. The first hour and a half is a session where we clear out all the crap that is in the way of becoming fully, completely flowy and open. Because we all have hangups, people have incredible stories. I mean, I've had just incredible stories of people who've gone through hell and back, literally, almost literally, clearly. And so they have this block, like they can't sing, or they have a small range, or they have all these hangups that were put in life. So those have to go. So we're going to do tapping, we're going to do energy healing, we're going to do some stuff, and then they can start their vocal training. And 50% is done in that session. So I still do that every now and then, but I don't advertise and I don't really look for clients anymore. I just really feel it's the time for everybody to learn all the stuff and to put it in a format where they can grab it. You know, they don't have to spend hundreds or thousands of dollars on learning something. They can buy a $15 book. They can go on TikTok and watch all my free stuff. They can go on YouTube and watch my free stuff. And you know, it would be nice to make a little bit of money, of course, but the main thing right now is get it out there. This is the one frontier that has not been known. Meditation, yoga, long time ago, 50 years, 100 years ago, was just for the elite. There was something weird, you know. Now it's common knowledge. Almost everybody has some form of meditation, at least has an idea, does some kind of pretzeling of the body and call it yoga. It's a concept that's more or less accepted, more or less. The voice is still such a taboo. It's such an epidemic, this vocal fry and the feeling shy. And I've had almost everything. Almost everything in my life has happened to me. And so that goes into the voice. You become really scared of life, of people, of being judged, of being hated, of being attacked, of all kinds of things. And that's got to go. And there is a simple way to get your body so aligned and so free and so flowy and so powerful and so full of energy that you can learn this. And then in 7 seconds, anytime you feel put upon, you feel scared, you have to go to a dentist appointment, or you have a speech to give, or you're a job interview, anything that gets you off your balance, you do these 7 steps in 7 seconds. You enliven all the 7 qualities that you absolutely have to have. And you feel like, oh, I can totally do this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very powerful.
And 7 is that powerful number because,
Yeah,
you know, 7 colors of the rainbow,
7
7
chakras.
notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 7 notes of the music. And 7 is that number. Yeah,
Yeah, there has to be
7 is.
something with that number because I didn't make it up. It just happened. Many years seeing hundreds of people. All they had to do is these things: 7 steps, clear out the 7 chakras, you know, infuse them with the 7 qualities, structured in those 7 steps, literally in the 7 steps. And when you're done learning it, you start doing it in 7 seconds, you feel completely different and your body is aligned. It's just unbelievable. Really, it's unbelievable.
And it is believable because you have done it and you are teaching so many to do it. It is truly incomparable to anything else. And if people did this, we would all be floating.
Oh my God, if everybody in the world, which will not happen, not in Kali Yuga, maybe in Sat Yuga, and Sat Yuga will just don't even need to do anything anymore. We'll just float through space happily and fully established in Brahman consciousness, being love eternal to everybody. It'll be great. But for now, we're in Kali Yuga, so we feel the contrast and we feel the world, and then we feel our own light and love and colors and sparkliness and coaching and guiding and chakras and everything. So I wish everybody could, even right now, take this and do it. Take this and do it. You do it, you do it. And suddenly the world is lighter and easier, and everybody feels freer and more easy to not to be around, freer to be themselves. I think that's how you started. We want to feel ourselves by ourselves in relationships, in relation to other people. Like, I wouldn't go out of the house. I'm still an introvert. I like being out in the country by myself with my 9 cats. If I don't have to go into town, I'm very happy. But if I go into town, I'm okay. And if I get anxious, which still happens, I had to go to a birthday party. I know I hate parties. Last Friday, and I sat in the car for 7 seconds. I went, oh yeah, I'm ready. Door open, and I was fine. You know, it's just something. If people could learn it, it'd be great. It'd be just great.
Yes. So a few days ago, I was sitting and singing with my friend, and she was sitting next to me and singing. And I didn't know these songs. She was singing, and I was accompanying her. So I was listening. I didn't know the words, so I was also trying to read the sheet. She was sharing it with me, and I was trying not to sing over her.
Yeah.
So also when I was singing accompaniment, I let her voice be louder, and she said, "Keya, stop. Go over there. Stand in front of that fireplace, this fireplace." And she also went out. She went by the door and she says, I'm going to sing from here. Forget the paper, forget everything. You're a singer. You know how to sing. Stand over there, hear my words, and repeat them back. Sing them as if you're projecting your voice across a football field.
Yeah.
And when I
Yeah.
started doing that, and I'm a person who could sing before she could talk, and I could dance before I could walk. That's me, my mom's story, because I wouldn't
Wow.
talk, but I could sing, you know?
Wow.
I felt like literally, I felt these like roots, some white roots come out from here and come out.
Oh, beautiful.
And suddenly I freed myself. And then I'm like, why am I doing screaming? And she says, now sing soft.
Yeah.
Sing softly, but keep projecting your voice.
Yeah.
And and I was like, no more physical, but I literally was feeling free.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
then we went outside and there was a bit of clouds and we were still dancing and singing and dancing and singing. Of course, we were chanting the holy names.
Yeah.
But it
Beautiful.
was like ecstasy.
Yeah.
No caffeine, no alcohol,
Yeah. That's right.
nothing. It was
Yeah.
just that sheer joy. Like we
Yeah.
were light bodies.
Yes.
Literally, we were
You
light
are.
bodies, but in
Yeah.
this human body.
Yeah.
And when you talk that this is what we are, existence, consciousness, bliss, Sat Chit Ananda,
Yeah.
the
Such a
truth,
yeah. The
the
truth.
truth that you are, the
Yeah.
bliss that you are,
If
was never
people hear
born, will
nothing
never
else
die.
than that truth, that's really all we need to know. And the intellect will go, yeah, but blah, 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 but it doesn't matter. The truth will be heard. The soul,
Mhm.
despite the intellect and the mind and the senses and the whole, the soul will have heard, oh, yeah, right, Satchidanand, that's me, that's me, hi, that's me, oh, yeah, me too. That is truth. That's the only thing that is ever completely true. Everything else changes, but that is eternal truth. So thank you for,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. So basically, when you were giving us the visual of the octopus and that oneness, because duality is that, you're constantly trying to do the balancing act, which is like you're never balanced because that
Yeah.
is death.
Yeah.
Like when you go to a hospital and you see someone strapped, it's always going up and down. It's a
Mm.
sinusoidal curve. The moment it does,
Yeah,
ting,
it's not so good.
so it's always going to go up and down.
Yeah,
Because
it's always
dead
a
means,
dance. It has to be a dance. Yeah.
yeah, the physical is dead, because now the spirit is
Yes.
like, okay, I'm in this neutral space, that's neutral emotion.
I'm alive. I'm finally awake.
Finally,
Whatever
awake,
it's,
finally alive. No more of this duality. I'm in this oneness.
yeah.
So basically, we are all a holographic projection
Yeah.
of that
That's
same.
yeah. Because being by itself has flavors, has everything in it, but it's not expressed. Being needs to manifest. Being needs to be awake to itself in order
Mhm.
to manifest in all these myriads of forms. And I'm looking outside right now at the trees and the pond and the clouds and everything is just a projection of being. So we don't even need to take ownership. Oh yeah, I'm this person, I'm this person. We're just helping being express itself. That's all we're here, and we're expressing it exactly how being wants to express. It has nothing to do with our personal ego, although that can come in the way. But basically, that's our job, and that's why my dharma seems to be, even though I never planned that, to teach this, and or to be the guide. And your dharma is whatever your dharma is. And yeah, that's how we can help the world in tiny little steps. Yeah.
Yes, and dharma is a big word. So the way I know dharma to be, when the other day there was a person on another call in which you were not there, and she said, "Oh, Deepak Chopra is fine," and I hear all these nice things, and I feel so good. But after his talk was over, and I'm mentioning his name because the lady also mentioned his name,
Yeah.
it's like you have to get back to reality. You have to get back to reality, and I was like,
Don't. No, you don't.
I'm like, this is the illusion. That is the reality. She says, all this philosophy is nice and it makes you feel good, but in the end, you need to make money. And I'm like,
Oh,
there
I
is
know.
no one on this.
I know. I understand that view. I understand everybody's point of view. I'm Libra rising. I always get everybody's point of view, which is infuriating. My mother always said, well, you have to have an opinion. No, I don't.
True, right?
This is true. The truth is that this alone is, and we get to express it. But this is not truer than this. If anything, this is truer, but you know that. So
Yes. So your dharma in my mind, and that day she says, look, can anyone say anything about it? So the one who was facilitating the call that day is said, anyone? And I said, okay, I have something to say. All right, Keya, go. And I said, your dharma just means to do what you're meant to do right now.
yes.
Just do what you meant. If let's say this lady and her daughter, they are in business together.
Mhm.
They're business partners, but they're also mother and daughter, right?
Yeah.
So at some time your dharma is being the mother, and at sometimes your dharma is being the business partner. And and in your business, you do sales, you do admin, you do accounting, you do marketing, and then you do, client fulfillment, whatever promise you made, right? Which brings you the money. So when you are doing sales, you're just a sales girl, you're a sales lady. You're not the coach. When you are doing the accounting, you're the bookkeeper, you're the accountant. So that's your dharma in that moment. So dharma will shift according to your role and
Yeah.
just be.
Be that.
And
Yes.
then the
Be that
next level,
flavor that wears many different hats, but always be true to that flavor. And if that flavor fluctuates, that's okay. Just don't try to be a different flavor.
yeah, just be who you are.
Yeah.
Like right now, you're a gregarious person, but you are an introvert.
Yeah.
When I tell people I'm a shy, quiet, and intro, oh, that's a story. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you're just seeing me through your own filter.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's
Everybody sees
fine.
everybody through their own filter. Yes. Very true.
And
Very
I'm like,
true.
and that's fine. I'm not going to argue with you, but I know who I am. I know
Exactly.
who I am.
Yeah.
I express myself a certain way depending on how the other person shows up in my presence. But that is because we are all simpatico.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
a
all sympathetic.
holographic projection of the same. And if you can think of it as light,
Yeah.
electricity from the powerhouse flowing into the transformer. And from the transformer, it's flowing into every house. And every house, we have all these plug points. Depending on what you plug in, it will express itself like that, right?
Yeah, I like that.
Blue bulb, blue light. Red bulb,
Yeah.
red light. A refrigerator, cold food. An
Or you
electric
unplug the
heater,
TV, you're not gonna watch anything.
right? So that is how we are.
I
We are
like
this
that. Yeah.
unique expression of that same current that's flowing
Yeah.
through us. Like what you were doing is still what you're doing. Earlier it was named a certain thing. Now it is named a different thing, but it is still the same thing that you were
Yes.
doing that made his angels speak to your angels and use your voice to say radish juice.
Yeah.
Like people tell me, yeah, how did you know this? And I was like, your angel spoke to my angels who
Yes.
used my voice to speak through me. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. And the more we are aligned, as I call it, as the antenna between heaven and earth, the more we are in our alignment, even physically, which is why I teach what I teach. Physical alignment is incredibly important. In order to have energetic alignment, it's not enough to just say, oh, I'm one with all, I'm one with all, and just say affirmations until you're blue in the face or in the throat. You need to actually physically get your butt in the right position so that you are an antenna. Otherwise, you're crooked. Otherwise, we lean forward during the day and we get all worried and we wonder why we're feeling down because we're leaning down. Or we're leaning back, we're going, yeah, I don't really care, whatever. Of course, you're not going to care if you're not in your center. You can't even perceive divine input. The divine input is always coming through, but you gotta adjust your antenna so you hear it. If you lean away, if you have a crooked antenna, it's going to go, okay? And
Yeah.
most of us hear, and that's why you gotta get in that space. And then it's like, oh, wow. Okay, and now I'm gonna do this, and now I'm gonna do this. That is your dharma. Your dharma is nothing other than total alignment with divine as who you are. And then you're gonna fulfill divine karma, divine mission, and not your own little, oh, I worry about this and I worry about this. Now, believe me, when I say this and mock the person who worries, guess whom I'm talking to? Myself, because I am really somebody who always wants to do the right thing. And sometimes when I'm not in my center, which happens occasionally, then I'm the one like, oh my God, oh my God. And it's only because my heart and mind aren't connected and not in my center. When I'm in my center, I can still talk fast, but stream of consciousness is coming through and I'm actually doing the right actions. And I can multitask. I get a lot more done. And I'm feeling I'm not incurring new karma that later on I'm going to go, oh, you know.
That was pure gold. That was pure gold that you said. And this came to me quite a few years ago. And I'm in a time warp. I'm constantly in a time warp. Earlier, I used to keep time. I used to check on time through in which house I was living or how old which child was. That's how I could
Yeah.
tell time. Now I'm like, all time warp. But this is what came from it, that everything that I was going through, and this happened to me in Walmart. I'll tell you, in a Walmart, this came to me. I still remember. And it's like maybe 2011 or 10 or 12, either around that time, it came to me. Oh my God, I'm done with all my karma. I'm done with all my prarabdha. I am literally done. Now I have to make sure not incur new karmas.
Yeah.
Because that is what we do. Because I was working through my karma and creating new karma, working through my karma and creating new karma. And how do we do that? By attachment, by
Yes.
grasping, by clinging. Oh, my house, my husband, my kid, my job, my money, my clothes, my chair. Nothing is yours. That's the illusion. Anything is yours. If it was really yours, when you die, you should take a U-Haul truck with you.
Yeah. Yeah. You belong to God. We are all just that expression. Not just, we are that expression. And aren't we so lucky and blessed? Oh my God. How many times, who said that? Was it in the Taylor group? Somebody said no, it was a TED Talk, I think. You are a 400 trillion chance of being manifested. 400 trillion. I forget what
Yes.
TED Talk that was, but it just blew my mind.
I'll,
That's how
yeah.
lucky we are that we're here. And here we are worrying about things and watching news about terrible things. Let Kali Yuga play out. It's going to play out. Take care of yourself. Make sure you are the antenna between divine and earth. Make sure you don't incur new karma and you're just really a messenger of divine all the time. And that's not something grandiose or arrogant. It's something really simple in everyday life. Do the dishes when it's time to do the dishes. Oh, darn it. I shouldn't have given that example. That's really terrible.
No, but it is true. If you don't do the dishes, you'll have cockroaches tomorrow morning waiting for you or whatever. But that 4 trillion, I'll tell you, it's a very simple example. Like,
Yeah.
when two people come together to cooperate, okay? All these sperms are making a mad dash for that ova. But the ova gets to choose.
Choose. Yes.
And that
Nope,
is 4
nope, nope,
trillion
nope,
to
nope,
1.
nope,
It
nope.
is
Are you
4.
kidding? Nope, 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 nope.
So
Sorry.
you were born a winner.
Yeah.
That race, you and all your other fellow sperms took, one of you got chosen, and that is 4 trillion to 1. It is scientific.
Yeah, you're the
And
scientist. That's right. I forgot. I can't pull any wool over your eyes.
and if you go and look in the Bible, let's bring the Bible. It's not just Eastern philosophy.
Yeah.
Jesus said, "May thy will be done and not
Yes.
mine." So if I
Exactly.
align my
Same thing.
will to the divine will,
Yep.
voila, I can
Voila.
have anything I want, and I'm not attached to anything I have
Exactly. Because you are everything.
because you
You're
are
right
everything.
there.
And that is what Buddha said. Buddha said this: there is nothing that I have to gain, and there is nothing that I can ever lose.
Yeah. And we certainly don't ever die. I've
No,
had 2 near-death experiences and I became wide awake in an instant. Absolutely wide. They were fishing my lifeless body out of the water, freaking out. And I was sitting there home, remembering, oh my God, I can't believe I forgot about all this. I feel so good, peaceful, no worries, glistening light, everything wonderful. The feeling of being home, just completely home, like coming home from a trip, entering your house times a gajillion. That feeling, that's who we always are. And so it can't ever leave us, ever. So when people see dying as something bad, it's just that people who stay behind see the body losing its liveliness because it was literally just a coat that the person needed to have experiences in life and connect with them. Other than that, the person is fine, fine.
because anything that is born will die.
Yeah.
Because there's a beginning, there will be an end. So on
Yeah.
all death certificates, when they write the reason for death, I'm like, you write only one reason for death. Birth.
Yeah.
Birth is the true reason for death. You were born, so you are dead.
That's
You can write pneumonia and cholera and malaria
I
and
know
heart
it
failure.
is. A
The
reason for
only reason
death
someone
birth.
dies is because they
I
were born.
love that. I'm gonna use that at some point. I'm gonna give you credit. I love that. The
Yeah, the
reason
only
of
reason
death,
you
birth. Yeah, Mercy always said you should not weep for somebody who dies. You should weep for somebody who gets born. No, he was joking, but you don't really
you're
have to
right.
weep. You certainly don't have to. But we have our attachments. I mean, I've lost my parents. I still think of my mother. I miss her every single day. You know, I wish she was here sitting next to me, seeing my paintings. She never knew I could paint. She never knew I could live this life. She never knew any of this. You know, she died too early. And so there is the human aspect that we have to wrestle with and that we have to acknowledge and not deny. But before everything and inside everything, we better know sooner than later who we really are. So crucial. We'll suffer less. We will suffer less. That's all. We will be more in bliss, and we can give more to others, and we can be more truthful and incur more good karma. As a matter of fact, no more karma. Like
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Like be free. Like be free.
Yeah, be free. Be
Be
completely
free. The
free.
only
Just
way to
enjoy.
live free is to know to live with non-attachment.
Yeah.
I once met this teacher. His name is Frederick Lehrman, and he said that his teacher, who was a Tai Chi master from Tibet,
Mhm.
who had said his only desire was to be desireless. So he said, that's the only desire I wrestle with, to be
Yeah.
desireless.
Yeah. It's still a
And people
desire.
say, and people, when I shared this with someone else, and she says, how can you have no desire? Then what's the purpose of your life? It's definitely not to chase desires. No, I don't want that.
Even the
So
ones who have no desire, though. Like I have to sometimes watch myself, my desire to be permanently established in Brahman consciousness, which I have had the great good fortune and blessing to have experienced once for several minutes. And it is just the most natural and most amazing state of unity that I have ever experienced. I have this desire so strongly, it's guiding literally almost every moment of my life, except when I'm tired and I get, I have to release that too, because otherwise I'm having the desire to be desireless. Like, what the hell?
exactly, right? Yeah. What the hell?
Just be an innocent instrument of divine. The more you can just surrender to that and just float through life, and not hit your head on bumps and rocks because you think you gotta, yeah.
Yes. So all I mean, I could talk to you through the night and until tomorrow, but I know you have to go. I have to go. And I know people will have to do one more thing. Click on your TikTok link or your YouTube link. But right now, what can you leave our listener with right now? That one thing that they could do to get started on this path of the 7 steps that you teach your students. What is that one thing?
One thing, if I can do only one thing, I would probably, it's the most complete is my book. Everything else has partial bits. My YouTube
Okay,
channel and my TikTok channel, they're all great because you get free stuff immediately, but it's not the whole thing. The whole thing is in a book that will cost you $14.95. And
get
it's all
it.
there. And I'm rewriting it right now, but that is the one thing. It's on Amazon. It's
Okay.
called Clean Yourself Well in 7 Seconds, How to Free Your Voice and Change Your Life. It worked for me. And finally, decades later, I'm able to share it with people. So yeah, that would be the one thing.
That that is the honest truth you give, because you did not give someone a half-baked pie. Go get the whole pie. Now all you have to do is just eat it. Eat it and free yourself.
Yeah.
I already have in my head and in my heart how many more topics I want to talk to you with
Oh,
and about. So Ulrike, thank you.
thank you, Keya. It was really a joy. I'm so glad to get to know you more and see how much we have in common, how much our personalities really work well. We're both quite strong and lots of Shakti. At the same time, we have tasted unity. So we have the introvert connection. So it's a nice balance. I think it really works well. So I'm so grateful that you are sharing yourself and me and so many others with the world. Really, really, it will transform the world. It's doing it right now. So thank you, Keya.
So
Jai Gurudev.
with all the love and light in my heart, I humbly bow to the love and light that is you.
And
Om peace,
happy
amen.
Mahashivaratri.
Happy Mahashivaratri. Dankeschön.
Oh, German. All right. Bye bye, Keya. Thank you.
Bye bye. Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.